Hello, everyone. Welcome to Simple English Stories. I am so happy to have you here today. In this video, we will practice English using the shadowing technique. Shadowing means you listen carefully to each sentence I read, then pause and repeat it, copying my tone, speed, and emotion. Repeat slowly at first, and then try to speak naturally. Today, I will tell you a long and detailed story called The Lost Puppy, a story about a young woman, a small puppy, and unexpected friendship. This story has many interesting moments, dialogues, and emotions, so it is perfect for shadowing practice. My name is Lily. I am 24 years old. I live in a small apartment in the city. I work as a graphic designer. Every day is very busy. I wake up early, go to work, come home, cook dinner, and then sleep. Most days feel ordinary. I often feel tired, and I rarely have time for adventures. One Friday evening, I finished work and walked to the subway. The streets were quiet, and the sky was slowly turning dark. My best friend Mia had invited me to join her for dinner, but I was tired and wanted to go home. I checked my phone. Mia had sent me messages again. "Are you coming?" she asked. I smiled but kept walking, thinking I would call her later. As I turned a corner, I heard a soft bark. I stopped and looked around. On the sidewalk, I saw a small puppy. His fur was wet, and he looked scared and hungry. My heart melted. I didn't know where he came from or who he belonged to. I knelt down and softly said, "Hey, little guy, are you lost?" He wagged his tail slightly but did not move. I looked around, but the streets were empty. I tried to find the puppy's owner. I called out, "Who is this puppy's owner?" But no one answered. Just then, a man walked by and asked, "Is that your dog?" I shook my head and said, "No, I just found him." He nodded and walked away. The puppy jumped up and licked my hand. I decided I couldn't leave him alone. I picked him up gently and walked toward the subway station, hoping someone would help me. At the subway, a young woman noticed me holding the puppy. She smiled and said, "You are kind to help him. He looks lost." Her name was Emma, and she worked at a nearby animal shelter. I told her what had happened. She said, "Don't worry, we can try to find his owner together." I felt relieved. It was nice to have someone help me, and I was happy to meet a new friend. We went to a nearby park where people often walk their dogs. We asked if anyone had lost a small brown puppy. While we waited, we talked. Emma told me about the animal she helps at the shelter. I told her about my work as a graphic designer. We laughed as the puppy ran around our fate, wagging his tail. Emma shared stories about kittens and puppies she rescued. I shared funny stories about my coworkers. A woman walking her dog approached us. "Is this puppy yours?" she asked, looking concerned. I said, "No, I just found him a few minutes ago." She nodded and smiled. "You are very kind," she said. "It's good to see someone helping animals." We continued waiting, watching the puppy play in the grass. Suddenly, a young boy ran toward us. "That's my puppy," he shouted. He was relieved and hugged the little dog tightly. His older brother came behind him, smiling. "Thank you for keeping him safe," the boy said. I smiled and said, "I'm happy he is back with you." Emma and I laughed, proud that we had helped. I noticed that the puppy's tail wagged happily, and he jumped onto the boy's shoulders. "He seems very happy," I said. Emma nodded. "He loves being safe. You did a good thing, Lily." I felt proud and joyful. Before I left, Emma gave me her number. She said, "We should meet again. Helping animals is fun, and it's nice to meet kind people." I promised I would call her. On my way home, I stopped at a small cafe to rest. I drank some tea and thought about the day. The streets were dark now, and the city lights reflected on the wet sidewalks. I felt calm and happy. When I got home, I called Mia and told her everything about the puppy. She laughed and said, "You always find adventures, Lily." I smiled and said, "Yes, sometimes ordinary days can turn into something special." I cooked dinner, still thinking about the little puppy, Emma, and the kind people we met. The next morning, I woke up early. I wanted to check on the puppy one last time. I called Emma, and she invited me to visit the shelter. We walked together and saw many animals, kittens, puppies, and even some older dogs. Emma introduced me to the staff. I learned how they take care of the animals and how people can adopt them. We played with the puppies, and I even tried feeding a few of them. I laughed as one puppy ran around and knocked over a small bowl of water. Emma said, "They're full of energy in the morning." I nodded, smiling. I realized that helping and spending time with animals could make me feel calm and happy. Over the next few days, I visited the shelter several times. I helped Emma feed the animals, clean their spaces, and take some of the dogs for short walks. Each time, I felt more connected to the animals and to Emma. I learned how rewarding small acts of kindness can be. One afternoon, while walking the puppy we found the other day, we noticed a small dog poster on a tree. A family had lost a little puppy in our area. The poster looked exactly like the puppy we had found. We called the family immediately. The children on the other line were excited. "Thank you for keeping him safe," they said. I felt so happy and proud. During these visits, Emma and I became very good friends. We talked about our lives, our work, and our dreams. I told her about my designs, and she told me about her plans for the shelter. We laughed a lot and shared many stories. I felt grateful for having met someone so kind. One evening, after spending hours at the shelter, I walked home slowly. The sky was pink and orange as the sun set. I thought about how one small action, helping a lost puppy, had brought new experiences, new friends, and new joy into my life. It reminded me that kindness, even in small acts, can change the world around us. Now it's your turn. Watch this story again, pause after each sentence, and repeat it using the shadowing technique. Copy my tone, my emotion, and my speed. Speak slowly at first, and then naturally. Remember, even 10 minutes of practice every day will make your English much stronger. Thank you for learning English with me today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Simple English Stories, and click the bell icon to get more long stories and shadowing exercises. Keep practicing, be kind, and enjoy every day. See you next time.